word that causes ruins, that causes hunger and death, but there's important because it highlights the most important values: family, home, and people. So we have had this information from the official resources, and you can see that about the Mariupol city. So you can see how many are displaced persons inside of Ukraine. So more than 430,000 people that used to live on the territory of Mariupol. Right now, more than one-third of those people have become the internally displaced persons. Most of them, they're located in the central Ukraine, part of them in the west of Ukraine, and you can see that one-third is being currently located in the neighboring regions closer to Mariupol. We have also collected the real photos and the real stories of the people. And you know that this were the real houses. For example, one of the teachers, the math teacher, the teacher of Ukrainian language, this is her house and her words. God, you're sending those challenges to us, but how can we go through those challenges? We do hope that soon I will walk to my houses, but not to the house that the good people have let me in. But I hope that I will be able to have my own home, that I will feel the coziness of my own home. God, give me strength. So each slide that we have made in this presentation and each of the stories that we have collected, those were the real stories. And all of those stories, they speak about this feeling of home as the key stage of building our community, the main brick in building our community. For example, the physics teacher, he has been also awarded with a state award for his educating experience. He says that he wants to continue teaching pupils. He wants to see the people who loved ones that he has lost due to the war. He wants to get back to his big family table. He wants to live again. So I'm not going to read out through all of those stories and through all of the slides, because you can see there are the real human stories behind that. There's many stories like that. We just selected a couple of the stories of the people that we know. But I would like to summarize my presentation by using the very same words that we used in the end of our presentation. That we do believe that Ukraine will stand through that, and we know that the cities will be rebuilt. We just need some time and support to do that. Everything will be Ukraine. Thank you very much for your attention. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dmytro. You can now stop sharing your screen. Yes, and if you may, is that's one thing that I wanted to ask you very briefly. The first question that I would like to have, and in your experience from 2014 to 2022, when basically you have started your new life in Mariupol after 2014, what was the hardest thing for you in this process of restoring your life and in this process of, starting to live in a new city, even in the very same region when you've left Donetsk region, from the point of view of an IDP? What was it that you have seen? What was the hardest on this way in 2014, 2022? The hardest thing was here is about to preserving as much as people as possible, to get as much as possible people displaced to the secure communities. The second stage was not about the work, it was not about employment, it was not about, it wasn't that much of, restoring your family connections or your colleagues' connection, but, it was about having your own place to stay, your home. So I think that this is the first stage that helps you to restart your life from wherever you are. So this is the first steps that gives you the opportunity to re-establish your life under new conditions.
То ви поставили навіть
So
збереження
you would even say that, preserving the community, as far as I've heard you, even before restoring housing. So, housing, but still preserving the community that you've had, is it? Well, yes, basically, yes, with people with the community that you've had before. But this is something that was happening, like from my experience, when you're talking about the IDPs, when you're working about the collective, the place unemployment, your job. The next stage, it would be, the displacement of your relatives, of your friends, of people who are there with you in this, finding the new people in the new hosting community, building your own community, an integration to the hosting community as well. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dmytro. I think that's definitely going to be the big challenge for Ukraine, not only to provide the restoration and the construction of Ukraine, but also to preserve these collectives, preserving communities as well. Because, well, yes, and I would like to add up to that because, in 2014, we've had again displaced our working collective, and we've had one collective that has been displaced in 2014. Right now we're displacing the collective on 2022 edition, but basically what we're aiming for is to preserve the job, so your working collective, and to